People come up with some of the dumbest excuses when they get caught.
Sorry, officer, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Hey guys, what's going on? I hope everybody's been having a great week. Guys, I'm sorry I have not been putting out more videos. Things have been so crazy at home, and I'm going to put out a video about that soon. I try to keep from getting too personal in my videos, but it's hard for me to, I guess, have an excuse or like a reasoning why I'm not putting out videos as often as I was before. So I'm going to address that in one of my upcoming videos. So as I'm sure you guys can imagine, in almost 10 years of doing this, I have heard just about every excuse in the book. Some people are actually pretty creative with their excuses, but other people are just flat out dumb. And this was actually the most requested video topic in the last video when I asked you guys for ideas, so I figured I would do a video on it. Now, you're going to have excuses in any type of call that you go to once you become a cop, but the most common times that you're going to hear crazy excuses is usually when people are speeding. For whatever reason, everybody has an excuse of why they were speeding. And not even necessarily just speeding, but like traffic violations in general. It actually surprises me, like it throws me off when somebody's like, "You're right, sir, I was hauling ass." I'm standing there like, "Oh, well shit. No, I can't write them a ticket. I feel bad." And honestly, usually those are the people I end up giving a break to. If you get caught red-handed and you fess up and you own it and you're showing me self-accountability, I'm going to go out of my way to try to help you out. You see all these like anti-cop people on YouTube and stuff, and they're always like refusing to work with the officer, and I'm going to exercise my right to remain silent. Well, that's fine. And that, yeah, absolutely, that is your right. But for me personally, if you don't make some sort of an attempt to acknowledge that you screwed up, why would I want to help you? And I'm sure there's gonna be people that comment on this video and they're like, "Oh, so you're gonna bash people that are exercising their rights, but people that are admitting guilt, you're gonna help out." Let's try to use a little common sense, folks. Technically speaking, if you want to get technical, it is my right to stand outside the courtroom and protest rainbows. That doesn't make it a good idea. And anybody that's been a cop for a good amount of time, like that, you can really tell when somebody's actually genuinely serious or not on the side of the road. People that cry, people that whine and beg and all that stuff, that's when a cop is just going to tune you out and just do what he has to do. But if you're dead serious and you look at him and you're like, "You know what, sir, I screwed up, I'm sorry," most of the time we're actually going to give you a break. The only time you're probably not going to get cut any slack is if you get stopped by a traffic cop, and that's what their job is. But even back when I was a traffic cop, I gave so many warnings. Even if your job is to write tickets, it's still officer discretion. And I actually have a bridge by where I live, and all the time I would be sitting at the base of it, and I would clock people coming down the bridge. For those of you that are not familiar, Georgia law actually has a separate speeding code for bridges. And for all you law nerds that love stuff like this, or you want to be cops and you want to learn about the law, if you go to Google and you type in OCGA, you can search for any code under Georgia law. So if you want to look up laws for speeding, look up 40-6-181. I can't remember if 183 or 185 pertains to bridges. I know one of those is a construction zone. It's been a long time since I've written a speeding ticket for either one of those, but I know it's one of those codes. So if you guys want to, you can look it up and kind of see what it's all about. But either way, I would sit at the bottom of this bridge, right? And I would get people coming down and they would be hauling ass. I mean, people would be going, on average, people would be going at least 20 miles an hour over the speed limit coming down the bridge. And I totally understand the concept of gravity, but I think people forget that cops know that they have brakes. There are brakes on your car. And I have to say, that is one of the most common excuses that I heard from people when they were coming down a bridge. That's one of those excuses they don't think about before I come up to the window. 8 times out of 10, people would say, "Well, I was coming down the bridge and my car sped up." So of course, my first reaction is, "Well, so your brakes don't work? Isn't that a little dangerous?" And I would usually get one of 3 replies. I would either get, number 1, "Yes, my brakes work," and they realize their excuse was a horrible one. And then my favorite, "I'm not sure, I think they work." And then I would get them to move up like a foot or two and hit the brakes, and miraculously the car would stop. Oh, my brakes work now, it's a miracle. And then of course the final excuse was, "No, I don't think my brakes are working." And this is another instance of a miracle, because when you bring up the fact somebody's looking at a speeding ticket and defective equipment, again, miraculously their brakes start working. My other favorite excuse when I was running radar is that people would always try to blame it on the car behind them. That's bullshit, sir, because I had my cruise control on. What'd you have your cruise control set for fucking light speed? When I visually see you hauling ass past another car, there is no way that you can argue that you are the slower car. Again, common sense should prevail. And there's other calls where people are going to have excuses too. It's not just traffic violations. Like if you get a shoplifter, It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they'll have excuses, sometimes not. It's pretty damn hard to have an excuse when you have 6 juicy steaks stuffed into your pants. I love how the first words out of their mouth are talking about how they were going to pay for it. I was going to pay for these steaks, sir. Well, did you forget that you were at the grocery store? Most grocery stores have carts that you can put them in. What if you change your mind and you don't want one of those steaks? I don't want a steak that your dong's been on. Gives a whole new meaning to tube steak. And sometimes the excuses aren't funny. A lot of times they're actually kind of sad. You hear excuses at domestic violence calls a lot. I'll be standing there talking to the guy. So dude, why'd you punch your wife? Man, that bitch crazy, bro. She talking about I'm seeing another girl. Wait, you punched her because she thinks you have a side chick? Exactly, bro. You know how them females is? Dude, turn around, put your hands behind your back. And there are going to be excuses that thoroughly piss you off. One of those times was at the former police department I worked for. A lady left her baby in the car. Long story short, somebody saw it. They called us. I just happened to be in the area, so I showed up first. I look inside and I see this little guy crying. Now, keep in mind, it is almost the middle of July. And I remember it was, I think it was a tan Chevy Tahoe, and there was a bunch of people standing around. Well, of course, you don't have time to waste. Like, every second counts when there's a little kid in a car. So I ended up going to the back window because I didn't want glass to get on him. So I busted the glass in the back. I crawled in. I unlocked the door, I got him out, and got him cooled off. That shit sent me into a instant rage. I don't yell very often, and I'm usually the cool cop on scene, but let me tell you something. When this lady came out of the store, which was right after that, you would have thought I was a drill instructor and this was my recruit.
No fucking way. Open your goddamn mouth, ass! Open your freaking mouth! Why are you talking so slow to me like you think I'm gonna buy all this freaking dramatic crap before I freaking hurt you? You understand that? Get a freaking attitude with me. Fuck with me. Fuck with me. What is our freaking problem? Good motherfucker. Good.
Get away. Get away before you get murdered.
I chewed this lady's ass up and down right in front of everybody, and then I put her ass in handcuffs and called DFACS. For those of you that aren't in the US, DFACS is basically child services. One thing I do not play with, boys and girls, is abuse kids. I am one of the nicest people you will ever meet. I'll be your best friend, but I can be a huge asshole, especially if it comes to kids. You will see a whole different side of me and think I'm psychotic, bipolar, schizophrenic, I don't care, whatever you want to call it. You will see a whole different side of me if someone is mistreating their kids. But anyway, there you go. There's a few excuses that we hear all the time. Thank God there are not babies locked in the car all the time. I hate to cut this one short, guys, but I have so much I have to do today, and I gotta get back home, I gotta edit, and there's just a ton of stuff I need to handle. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support. I will try to get another video out but before the end of the week. We'll see if that works out. But either way, I love you guys as always, and thank you again, and I will see you guys very, very soon.